The work that leads to awakening first and then to liberation can be subdivided in 4 aspects. These 4 aspects are physical molecular, then energetic, work with the energy. Third, mental, work with your thoughts and beliefs. And finally, there is a 4th element that is working with attention or consciousness, which is where Advaita really focus on. But to focus only on one of these aspects, like focusing on dealing with the issue of attention and consciousness, is sometimes not as effective. And this is the reason. Let's say your neurotransmitters are in disarray and imbalanced. Well, that's going to affect your thinking, your judgment also, and will make the brain agitated. There will be a lot of thinking and images and so on, and then it will be very difficult to rest as awareness and to identify yourself as pure consciousness. Also, if the energy is being wasted in excessive sexuality and the brain becomes depleted, that will interfere with the capacity of having intuition. Intuition awakens when the brain is energized. That's why the work with Kundalini yoga and similar yogas lead to awakening, because when the energy goes up to the brain, there are powerful insights that lead to awakening. And so on. If your beliefs are false and crooked, and you have strange ideas in your head manipulating your life, that will be a serious obstacle to rest as awareness and function from your true nature. And to awaken also will be very difficult. That's why doing psychological work is valuable. And then if you don't even have a clue of what attention is and consciousness is, which are the same, by the way, you cannot even begin to do the work at realizing that you are consciousness, that is our true nature. Our true nature, because consciousness is undifferentiated, so it's in different containers, like in this plant or in this body or in your body. It's in different containers, but it's just one consciousness. So a serious work to attain awakening and eventually liberation, complete liberation from suffering. A serious work should include all these 4 elements. In that, we could say that the path is holistic. The spiritual path is a holistic path. Part of the work at a molecular level involves improving your nutrition, right? And this, the yogis have recognized it for centuries or millennia. They have always had respect for nutrition, and parallel to yoga, there has been like a sister science that is called the Ayurveda that deals with nutrition. So we have these 4 levels, right? And today I want to focus into a particular one, which is the energy aspect, which I haven't talked too much about it. And of course, this could be a many hours video, which I'm not going to do. I understand why people choose to watch short videos. But in a few moments, I want to mention to you something very key to the work with energy. First, realize that there is energy inside the body. There is like an energy body inside the body, inside the physical body. It's made of energy, or chi as it's called in the East. Astral energy is also called by the yogis, some yogis. And when the physical body dies, dissolves, the energy body goes out, and then awareness or the perceiving continues through that astral body, energy body. So we all have this energy body inside, and we have energy moving inside the body. You can notice it, and it's valuable to notice it by, for example, noticing the effects in the physical body of libido. Libido has specific effects when the energy flows to the lower chakras and the sexual organs. There you can notice the energy operating in that area. You can do work in each one of the chakras. In Kundalini Yoga, it's called to awaken them. Energy centers, right? But there is one thing that I want to strongly recommend, and it is to energize the brain. Behind the physical brain, there is an astral brain made of energy, astral energy. Learn to bring energy to the astral brain. And how can you do that? And why? First, why doing it, right? Well, when you bring energy to the higher centers and to the astral brain, you open the door of intuition. Intuition becomes sharp, and then you get insights. And the path of Advaita is from insight to insight to insight. So you want to have the channel of intuition wide open. How you open it? Bringing energy to the brain, to the higher centers, at least from the heart center up. When you bring attention to the brain, here to this area, to the head, energy tends to flow towards the head. In fact, this is valid for any point in the body. If you bring attention to the sexual organs, the energy flows to the sexual organs. And then there are specific feelings that arise from that. When you focus the energy in the attention in an area that is hurting, like for example, let's say you're having a knee injury, and you focus the attention there, you're bringing energy, which is healing, to that area. So energy follows attention, which is consciousness. In the East, they say that the Divine Mother, which is energy, follows the Heavenly Father, which is consciousness. Poetic ways to talk about this. They also say that Shakti, energy, follows Shiva, attention, consciousness. So you want to bring attention to the brain because you want to bring energy to the brain. And that will open up intuition, which brings insight and revelations, the revelations that you're looking for in Advaita. So I want to share with you one exercise that I would say it's absolutely crucial in the path pertaining Shakti or energy. And it's very simple, takes very little time, but it will awaken your higher centers and energize the brain. And it consists on this. You inhale, a long inhalation, and you imagine the energy gathering from the pelvis into the spine and going upwards, upwards, upwards during the inhalation, so that this visualization goes on with the inhalation, and when you come to the brain or to this center or this center, you hold the breath and keep the attention intensely in this area. And then you wait there. You hold the breath for as long as it is reasonably comfortable, and the energy will keep flowing up. And finally, when you feel a little bit uncomfortable that you need to breathe again, you release. Yeah, simply exhale like this. That's a double exhalation. And then you can repeat the exercise, so you can do it 1, 2, or 3 times. What will happen is that your brain will become energized. Your intuition will become sharper. Insight will be available. Connecting with consciousness will be easier. Resting as awareness will be easier. And you can do this exercise as many times as you want during the day. Just keep on playing with it. Or be serious about it, whatever you prefer. Well, that's it about energy. And since we are already into seriousness versus being playful, I think that being playful and being enjoying humor in life is extremely valuable. But keep in mind also that there is a place for seriousness. There is a moments in life that we need to be serious. Or there are aspects related to life that we need to take seriously. So there has to be a balance there. And when it comes to the spiritual path, I would recommend that you become serious about it, if you want to make it. That is not something like a walk in the park. The spiritual path is requires seriousness, commitment. I'm not saying effort, no. intelligent commitment and dedication. Use the power of habits. Put small habits throughout the day to help you to rest as consciousness, to awaken insight, and so on. So the path is not just, watching a few YouTube videos and reading a little book. No. It requires to be serious. And in my case, when it comes to be serious, it required, in the case of this mind-body system, it required the following. I had already read all the books that you can imagine and practiced so many techniques and methods and meditation for hours and you name it. Watching videos. But awakening was not happening. And then I went to a retreat in Northern California with a very good teacher. And during the retreat, this guy said, in our tradition, the awakening is transferred from teacher to student, or master to disciple, whatever way you want to call it, coach to coachee. Advaita is very informal in this. His path was more formal. But he said this, and it got my attention because I had done everything and it was not happening. So the thought came in, well, this is the only thing I haven't done. I haven't found a teacher that helps me, a coach that coach me into getting awakening. So I'm going to do it. And then I went back to Los Angeles. We were living in Santa Monica at that time. And a couple of days later, I got an email from a teacher that was offering coaching sessions to wake up. So I called him, and he was living very nearby our apartment. And he began to come to have coaching sessions every week. And we had coaching sessions for 6 months. It took a while, but after 6 months, the awakening happened, and it was very clear. I realized immediately that the insights that came, which was not just one, it was about dozens of insights, like everything was falling in place. And the core insight was, I do not exist, and I have never existed. It was all beliefs, ideas about me here. There is not such a thing as Jan. It's a story in the mind. But there is awareness here, there is consciousness here, there is perceiving here. And that is the real self, our true nature. So this insight was happened after 6 months working with this coach. And it happened right after he said something that triggered it. So, and after that, after the awakening, I kept working for 3 years with him in order to embody the awakening. So I want to recommend to you, get help. Don't think that you can do it on your own. It's a trap. The spiritual path, in one way or another, humbles us over and over and over. And in order to wake up, we need help. In order to embody awakening, we need help. So it's part of the path. It's a humbling of the ego. Oh no, I can do it by my own. What is the next book? The next YouTube? You may, but you may not. After a while, after a few years trying, you may consider this video. Okay, so that's it. Practice energy work to awaken intuition in the higher centers. Intuition does not wake up in the lower centers. It wakes up in the higher centers. By bringing energy to the astral brain and to the upper centers. And be serious about your path. It's not a walk in the park. Take care.